Hello. For those of you who've been around for like all 4 streams, I had to go put my laundry in the dryer. Okay. Mabel says I could never bring myself to read The Well of Loneliness. But I read Hall's short story, Miss Ogilvy Finds Herself in Persistent Desire, a Butch Femme Reader. I really want to read that. I have a whole list of books on Butch Femme. Like a list of them that I want to read. I don't own them yet. Maybe I shouldn't have run up and down the stairs. Hello, Eleanor Lynn. Brittany says it wasn't in a notification. I think it might be because I started and ended them like really close. Like both this time and last time, I had to when I went to start the next stream, I had to like reload it a couple times. Not sure why. Also, oh my god, I saw you guys saying in the last live chat that Exelantic had her YouTube banned. Literally, like 3 days ago, I was like, okay, I need to find a way to like download my videos onto my laptop and like upload them onto Odyssey so that they're safe. And I was like, oh, I'll wait until I have a desktop in a few months. Like, fuck, now I'm scared. I could like private a bunch of my videos, maybe. I don't know. Kind of scared now. But I bet you the TRAs like really targeted her, like a bunch of different ones. And like reported all her videos. And also I know she was like in ongoing legal disputes basically with TLC because of all her I Am Jazz stuff. Like sometimes she would get her videos taken down and then they would get like re-uploaded, or they could take them down. She had to take out stuff. That's exactly Toss Jones is the purge about to begin. Like I've been purged from so many. This is like one of the only official social medias I have left. Everything else is like anonymous because I've been banned from it. So yeah, I really need to put stuff onto Odyssey, but I don't know. Cross-platform is pretty shit. Like if I went on Odyssey, would you guys like download the Odyssey app on your phone and turn on notifications? Probably not, right? Like, do you guys even know anything about Odyssey? I don't know much about it. Can you live stream from it? Like, honestly, I'm at the point of being like, a YouTube video of how to live stream on Odyssey. Okay, well, whatever. Like I considered making my own website and like hosting all my videos on my own website, so that way, like, I'm always in the same place. I can't get banned or anything. But like, I think to do that, I would need to hire like a professional web person, because like live streaming onto a website is not the same as just embedding a YouTube video. Hey, Hante, Maple, and Stop Lying. Like I definitely am gonna put all my stuff onto Odyssey, but considering my main thing is streaming, and also I've been wanting to, basically since I got banned from Twitter, I've been wanting to make my own website. No, not banned from Twitter, banned from Medium, because I was like, I want to put up my essays and write more essays, and then I kind of like gave up on it. Um, but if I had my own website, I could have like a store for buttons, my essays, my old videos, and my live streams all in one place. Maybe I can do everything on Odyssey then, and then just make my own like basic website and embed the videos. Dark Horse Podcast. Oh, that makes sense that they're on Odyssey. I really hope that Exolantics, like most of her following, just moves onto Odyssey, because like, I don't know, it'd be so sad. Like how many? She had 12,000 subscribers or something, right? Almost 13,000. Like Tumblr, yeah, but like more grown up. Okay, this time I put little paper things to remind myself. Honestly, the thing with the website is, it doesn't matter which like service you use to make your website. What matters is if it's like, if it's privately hosted, and that part confuses me, and I don't know how to do that part. Once I figure out how to do like the privately hosted thing, I'm sure I can fuck around and like make the website look decent eventually. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Here's my first little paper. Why did I put it here? Okay, so he proposed. Ella's like just got here. Yeah, Exolantics channel got taken down. All of her stuff is on Odyssey though, so if you go and you search like Exolantic Odyssey, Odyssee, you'll find her. I really hope she just like does everything on there now, basically just transfers everything to Odyssey. I really need to get my Odyssey set up. Even if there's nothing on it, I'm like, just like, please subscribe in case I get banned. Like I've literally been thinking like since the last 2 days I need to like back up my stuff to Odyssey in case I get banned, and now I'm like actually scared. Like maybe when this stream is done, I'm gonna go private a bunch of my videos. Like I don't know which videos I have that are the most reportable, but I've been trying so hard not to like say trigger words, as you might have noticed in my live streams. Ella, if I ever get banned from YouTube, I'm never coming back. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. Like I consume so much YouTube content. Like every single day, my phone is like, you listen to YouTube for like 40 hours, because like 4 hours. Like I wake up in the morning, before I even get out of bed, I turn on some random YouTube video. I'm brushing my teeth, I'm getting dressed, I'm listening to a YouTube video. I'm driving in the car, I'm listening to a YouTube video. I'm doing the dishes, and like, I'm always listening to YouTube. So even if I get You need to start your Instagram again? Patricia says my hair looks great. Thank you. Patricia, are you Canadian? Are you that Patricia? What's my phone? I think I had 3,000 followers. Oh, you're not? Okay, well, whatever. I think I had 3,000 followers on Instagram before I got banned. Why do people keep saying I need to start a new one, though? Like, what does that mean? You want me to, like, just make a new GNC-centric account and start posting from that? Honestly, I found Instagram. Okay, I really liked Instagram because everything is so compartmentalized. Like, if someone isn't looking at if the algorithm is not going to show my post to TRAs unless I use the right hashtags for that. So if I want to go like undetected and not have to face assholes, it's really easy to do, and then I could just delete the shitty comments. I really liked that, and I liked how like compartmentalized it was. What I didn't like was the effort necessary to like post something, because I'm like a person who grew up on Twitter and Tumblr. Like, I want to just be able to type it and post it. Instead, I had to like download some kind of fucking app to like post, like type it into like a graphics thing, download the graphics thing, go on to Instagram, add the graphic, add all the hashtags, and nobody will see it. Like the whole thing, it just seemed like a lot of work. Oh, another Brazilian. We had a Brazilian gay boy in the last stream. This is my 4th stream of the day, because with this book, the readings, I'm trying to do it like without stopping and talking, so it's kind of more like an audio book, and then I do like commentary afterwards. I'm so disappointed though. Like, okay, like this is not a Benji soapbox, but just to briefly mention some housekeeping Benji soapbox things. The whole process with like making the videos private and then adding you guys is actually like kind of time consuming and like ridiculous. I didn't realize, like, because I kind of looked it up before I started doing it. But the way that people usually do it is because I'm doing live streams that it doesn't make any sense. Usually, a YouTuber, if they wanted to make a video private only for their fans, like for their patrons, they would like make the video unlisted, in which case it will never appear on their page. Nobody will have the link until they send them the link. So they make a video unlisted and they put the link on Patreon. The only people who have access to the link, the only time the link has ever been shared, is on the Patreon. When you do live streams, it's the opposite though. Like, I start the live stream and I say like, you know, can you please share it? And like I post it on Getter and Spinster. And then people post it onto their own YouTube and stuff like that. And so then afterwards, if I like just make the video unlisted and go post it in Patreon, the link that's already posted everywhere can still be shared and still be watched. And then in that case, I feel like I'm kind of ripping off the people that are paying for it, because then it's like semi-public. There isn't really a good way to like do a live stream and then make it private after. As far as I can tell, the best way to do that would be to like do the live stream publicly, download the video, make a new video, and that one is unlisted, and post that video to Patreon. As I've mentioned, I cannot download. Becomes a dead link on YouTube community tabs. You mean once if I make a video private or if I make it unlisted? Because that happened before. Like, I think it was my 2nd or 3rd episode. There was like 3 different people who shared it onto YouTube in different places. And then I made it like unlisted, and then you could still go click on the links to watch it. So then that one, it got like 100 views after I had like made it patrons only. Which is like, I'm not mad at anyone or whatever. Like, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, what I was trying to do with the videos is actually quite fucking annoying. So, like, every time I make a new video, I have to manually manually add every single person's email address if they want to have access to it when it's private. This is like pretty fucking. And that way, if somebody unsubscribes or changes emails or something, I have to go through every single video and find them and remove them or change it or whatever. Like, it's really a lot of work. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe what I can do is borrow my roommate's computer and like just go buy a hard drive and download all my YouTube videos onto it. Cause like I have like a MacBook Air, and it's like full of random crap. I don't fucking know, but it has no space on it at all. Like I literally cannot record a single video on my laptop or download any new hard software. Um, so I need to figure out how to save all my stuff. But like I said, I might just private things. Yeah, the content disappears when you're banned, I'm pretty sure. But what about Telegram, Patricia? Because like if the link is ever public at any point, then you cannot private it. Oh, Telegram Cloud. I don't know about virtual though, because like a cloud, because like I have like dozens of videos that are like more than 4 hours long. Like, isn't that like a lot of data or whatever? I don't know. I'll at least definitely make an Odyssey account. You can create a group on Telegram. Interesting. Anyway, my plan as of last night was to kind of transition because I didn't want to put all my eggs in a basket. But what I was gonna do was like offer my membership for like the same price as my first tier of Patreon, which is 3 USD, and then just tell all my patrons like you need to leave because I'm closing my Patreon. Or my Patreon will be here, but you will no longer have access to, because it's really easy to make private access to private videos if someone is a YouTube membership. Doing it through like after I've live like exactly what I just said, the way I'm doing it. If I'm live streaming it first and people are sharing the links and then I want to make it private after, it's much easier to do that if you're YouTube members than through Patreon. So I was thinking of like leaving Patreon up but changing it so that if you want access to the private videos, you have to be a member, not a patron. Or something. But like yeah, but to upload videos, I would need to like have the video. Like the reason I'm doing live streaming is that I don't need to download. I don't need anything. No uploading, no editing, nothing. Like I'm just doing it. Um, and also Patreon doesn't host actual videos. They just have links. They can't host videos on Patreon. Like I was thinking of doing my stuff directly on there or doing live streams directly on there, and it's like you're basically doing your live stream or whatever through YouTube on Patreon. So it's like the same thing. Um, anyway, so I might end up being more like on Odyssey and Patreon than YouTube. I fucking don't know. Okay, anyway. Oh yeah, okay, I'm doing commentary on this book. Let's do commentary on this book. Because also I'm a bit tired. Okay. So, talk about Kraft Ebbing's Psychopathia Sexualis from 1886. And he has his 4 categories. Okay? I'm going to read you for, again, the categories, okay? One category consisted of a woman who, quote, did not betray their anatomy or their anomaly by external appearance or by mental masculine characteristics, end quote, but who are responsive to masculine women. So basically, these are women who are straight passing and feminine. They're responsive to lesbians, but they're not necessarily into women. So this basically is like, I'm unclear whether, because, you know, there are obviously fucking men who are dumb. BitChute. Get OnlyFans. I think BitChute might be the thing then. Anyway, I forgot about that. Thank you, Patricia. So they're either describing like feminine lesbians or bisexual women who can be like, who can be forced or convince themselves to go into heterosexual relationships and who, from appearances, look heterosexual. Eleanor says I just can't pay. I feel bad, like, yeah. I feel bad for people who can't pay because I used to be that person, but I don't know. I think like it used to be that what you had to pay for. No, don't be sorry. It used to be that what you had to pay for was like 1% of my content, and like 99% of my content was public. But I don't know. I just when I started doing the when I started doing the live streams, I was like, this is kind of sensitive stuff that I don't want to leave up on YouTube forever. And so it made sense to take it down. And then I was like, oh, patrons, I don't know, just like kind of happened that way. But I don't know. I think like I plan on making more content that stays up on the channel, and I also just think like as my channel evolves, like over the years, what I've put on my channel has changed quite a bit. So yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying, if you subscribe to me, there's definitely a bunch of stuff you get to see that's not just that eventually. Okay. So the first category is basically bisexual women or femme lesbians who are like capable of surviving heterosexual relationships, basically, is what I understand from this. The second category was made up of women, quote, with a strong preference for male garments, end quote. And I'm going to read the next definitions so we can differentiate them. Next came women who assumed, quote, a definitively male role or masculine role, end quote. So here the differentiating between, do you just wear men's clothes or do you wear men's clothes and you behave masculine, which is interesting to me. And finally, the, quote, extreme grade of degenerative homosexuality, end quote, encompassing women who possess, quote, of the feminine qualities only the genital organs, thought, sentiment, action, even external appearances are those of a man. Note that female masculinity, either as a characteristic of women or as her object of attraction, define the female invert. I think that they have basically just described a trans man. Like, they basically, this is the definition, or this is like the spirit of gender dysphoria these days. I'm going to read it to you one more time, okay? Are you listening? Extreme grade of degenerative homosexuality encompassed women who possessed of the feminine qualities only genitals. Thought, sentiment, action, and even external appearance are those of a man. How is that not a trans man? This people are saying, this Kraft Ebbing is saying, this person is basically a man except they have the wrong genitals. This is like the modern gender ideology conception of trans men. And he's labeling it as an invert. Like, this whole chapter is so prescient again. Okay. There was also something I read that was like, this woman looked like a man and people thought she was a man and she would be more comfortable as a man. And I'm like, so she's just internalized the lesbophobia she's experiencing. This is literally like a cookie cutter expression of modern trans crap. Okay, also this I thought was so funny. They're basically Aisha says, I played the lottery with the specific intention of giving it to you and all the other people I want to give money to. I've done it many times. It's a fun lottery game. That's really funny. I never done that. That sounds funny. You guys are like, sounds like intersex and whatever. No. Nobody is intersex. There is not a single person so far in the book that is actually intersex. What they're describing, it's because they're really, really, really homophobic. They think that if you want to have sex with someone with a vagina, you must want to penetrate the vagina with some part of your body. Like, literally, that's it. That's it. So either you must have a big clitoris or you must be a hermaphrodite. If you are a female who wants to have sex with a female, you must want to penetrate them with part of your body. So you must have a clitoris or be a hermaphrodite. That's the only acceptable, rational understanding of what homosexuality is. That's all that it is. It's not actually anything to do with intersex or hermaphroditism. Ever. It's pretty, like, disturbing. Okay. This also, it made me laugh. Because, like, how many lesbians have had this discussion that, like, men are really superficial pieces of shit? Listen to this. Their faces may be plain or ill-made, but not seldom they possess good figures, a point which is apt to carry more weight with the inverted woman than beauty of the face. They are always womanly. One may perhaps say that they are the pick of the women whom the average man would pass by, end quote. Okay, so first comment. Didn't they say that these doctors were like really thorough with their studying, or was that after? Is this the same guy who was like measuring the sizes of the vaginas with his fingers and doing the glass? Or was that later? I think that was later. Yeah, that was after. Okay. But anyway, this is so patriarchal. Okay, listen to this. Their faces were plain, blah blah blah. But not seldom they possessed good figures. Who the fuck are you? You're supposed to be a fucking doctor, guy. A doctor. This is why women are fucking don't like male doctors. These women came to you for whichever reason, and I'm just reading I've been reading this book, so I'm commenting on it. I'm done with the reading part. I'm commenting on it. Who the fuck are you, some doctor, to be like, oh, this woman, I think she's attractive. Therefore, they are always womanly. One may perhaps say that they are the pick of women whom the average man would pass by. This too, okay, so far in this book, with reference to Chinese concubines and Turkish bathhouses, women there, you know why they have sex? There's no men. There's no men. So they have to resort. Also in the like Persian fuck, I think what harems, Persian harems. The women have sex because there's no men. The poor women, they're like, you really horny, and there's no men. So like they have to make do with what's there. These poor women. This was the second reason women end up together. The men don't want them. The men don't want them. So they're by themselves. Like this guy said, the man would pass them by. So the women, they can have their pickings of those ones because they're not good enough for the men. Literally everything is about these fucking men and their dicks. Like, did any of these men stop to consider that the reason these women are doing this is because they actually fucking want to have sex with women, and it's not because they're like lonely and there's no penises around? It's so fucking stupid. Like even it said that later in the chapter when it talked about Japanese women who come from like families of like elite families, how they'll be like secluded with their female staff. So like the only reason they would do that is because there's no men around. Sure. Okay. And also they just make men look like shit. Like unless a woman is super beautiful, a man could never be into her. Like it's just okay. Beansprout, if men did do that, please email me about it. Yeah, I have Beansprout saying she needs to catch up. Dr. Bean, we've just done chapter 7, I think. I have a playlist of me reading without commentary 7 chapters of this 10 chapter book. And then afterwards I'll have like commentary videos that are separate, so you can just like listen to the book, like kind of an audio book, but like bad quality. Brooklyn New York says, cool hair by the way, thank you. Can you guys tell it's purple or does it look like black? It's purple. Okay. The pure female invert, he wrote, feels like a man. This is like the origins of pathologizing lesbians, right? That's literally what she's saying. Like in 1880s, the sexologists got together and they were like, this is the word and this is the categories and blah, blah, blah. How is it possible that from the 1880s to 2020, we basically have taken the same pathology, and instead of saying this makes a woman, some kind of a freak, instead of saying that, we're saying, no, this makes the woman someone to be fixed with hormones. I mean, you don't have to find a bean sprout if you're not. Tossstone says these studies coincide with medical mutilation of women as a cure by their peers. Agreed. I mean, you don't have to watch it, Bean Sprout. It's quite long. Okay. So, where else did I have a little paper thing? It's also very interesting to me. So when they bring up the case of Alice Mitchell and Frida Ward, um, so what is it here like? Basically, they wanted to run away together. Um, but Mitchell's Ward with family was trying to marry her off to some dude. Um, and so because they couldn't be together, Mitchell slashed Ward's throat in the street. And then during the trial, she was found insane because of her like obsession with this girl, aka being in love with her. Um, but it was interesting because basically the outcome and the mentality with which it was handled. This is some crazy lady who's like an anomaly who has nothing to do with like it's not a nothing to do with like the way society treats people or the way the state women have within society. No, this is just about some one freaky lady being a freaky lady. Like literally, there's like in this book earlier on, there is descriptions of like trials from the 1400s and 1600s, and what has just been described here is almost the exact same thing, except instead of having a sexologist being like, yeah, this is like history of an invert or like whatever, this is like a presentation of that, they have like midwives coming in and being like, yeah, we looked at the genitals and we think this person might be a hermaphrodite. It's like the same thing. And I can't get over how like when was this? This was in 1888. Like this also is reminiscent of the earlier trials mentioned in the books, like in the 16 and 1700s. They would literally have some kind of physician or midwife go and examine the accused genitals. Like so here, in Tokyo. Oh no, this is the one in Hungary. Oh, also, I would just like to say, so in like the first chapter of the introduction or whatever, she talks about how she's not going to disqualify a woman who lived as a man or used a male name or male pronouns from like being a lesbian, even if that was going to offend people, because then she's like, there's fucking no lesbians left in history. Um, but also, she is not going to misgender them, which is fucking stupid. So, like, this dude in 1889, this woman in 1889, clearly, clearly, she was like a really masculine lesbian and she dated women and slept with women and stuff. So it had a very she mentions it fucking every page in the book. It's a very, very practical purpose to look and pass as a man in society if you want to be with women. It's a very, very practical purpose, right? There's a reason to not stop doing it. And yet, earlier on in the book, she's like, I'm going to keep using male pronouns for this person because after they were discovered, they kept living as a man. Maybe they kept living as a man because it's not like somebody could Google their name and be like, oh yeah, this person is a woman. Because if they just walked to the next street, nobody would know they're a woman because they're, right? Maybe they kept living as a man because they literally, one of them was a doctor and the other one owned a house. Maybe they kept living as a man because they were not allowed to do those things if they stopped being a man. It's not proof that they had a male identity. It's so fucking stupid. Anyway, so here with this what's this dude's name? Her name is Sander Vey. Um, oh my god, this also there's like gender ideology in this. Exactly, bean sprout. Like, okay, when I originally got this book, the purpose was to like read about lesbian history. Now I'm reading this book because it's like fucking historical revisionism everywhere. Like it's lesbian history and historical revisionism, which I'm like very critical of obviously, and I want to like see it. Um so here, I'm about to read you a phrase which is literally gender ideology, and she's applying it to somebody from 1889. Are you ready? The doctor who reported on the case to the court was himself confused, finding it difficult to deal with the masculine countess as a lady, and much, quote, easier, natural, and more correct, end quote, to think of Sandor as, quote, a jovial, somewhat boyish student. He and another forensic doctor asked all kinds of questions about Vay's sex life. So they're literally being like, well, when was this written? I think this was written in like quite recently. 2009? So like 12 years ago. Or 13 years ago, I guess. So they're literally saying, oh, if you look like a man, then you're a man. Hello? There were like a lot of fucking masculine lesbians. Maple, what is that in reference to what I said? Like what is Grey Witch says, so hey, so is Leila J. Rupp homophobic, or is she just compiling this stuff? Google tells me she's a lesbian. Her goal, which she states in the introduction with this book, was to give like one book that was like readable by the average woman about like a global history of lesbianism, because like it's true, all of the books are like really short time periods, like less than 200 years, and they're all like really focused on one country or one region. So she was kind of like, I want to give you like a global everything. um and so she was like, while doing this, I'm obviously going to include women who passed as men or lived as men or whatever. um I think that she thinks that she's fence sitting, but to me, it's like the whole thing is gender ideology, obviously. Brittany says that's misogynistic. I fucking agree. Yeah. Okay. Is there something else? Yeah, okay, let's keep going here. Vey was no longer a passing woman. He was becoming an invert. So, again, apply everything I'm saying to modern trans shit. So, according to these lesbophobic, misogynist pieces of shit from Hungary in the 1880s, this person was like a woman but not really a woman. And then this lovely lesbian author is like, yep, so they were a woman but not really a woman. um Okay, so Maple says I'm commenting on masculine slash trans men, lesbians, and inverts in general. Inverts is in quotes. And she says, like Ogilvy literally says, quote, my sisters are so annoying and frivolous, and their ailments are probably fake for attention, end quote. Interesting. Eleanor says, a world history. I remember you saying you were not impressed a while ago upon the first reading. Yes, I am not impressed. There is a handful of mentions. Okay, I think probably the thing that's mentioned the most, the countries that are mentioned the most that are non-Western are China and India. But even that, it's like, I mean, I'm not going to go through page by page, but it's like in a 40 page chapter, there'll be like 4 pages about China and 1 page about India, and the rest is like Western. So Grey Witch said it's hard to read Radcliffe Hall. Well of Loneliness is depressing. Yeah, I know. That's why I haven't. I haven't read it yet. Um, like, listen to how they pathologize the fact that this lesbian is very masculine. The examining doctor concluded that he suffered from, quote, a congenital hereditary. Also, I'm gonna like correctly sex her and stop missexing her based on the author's bullshit. The examining doctors concluded that she suffered from, quote, a congenital hereditary determined disorder of the whole nervous system, end quote, and a, quote, congenital pathological disorder of mental capacity, end quote, meaning sexual inversion. Oh, I'm so pumped that she mentioned Ethel Smythe. I mean, it wouldn't really be a lesbian history book if she didn't mention Ethel Smythe. I fucking love her. She had a thing with Virginia Woolf for a while. Oh, hello, VF. Maple says, I hate the way singular they is affecting grammar. I know. I always do that too. Like, yeah. Beansprout said this is literally gender ideology. They were doing this shit over 100 years ago. Yeah, because gender ideology is not actually gender ideology. Gender ideology is just homophobia and misogyny in a new, flashy package. Did you already hear about Excelantic's channel getting deleted? Yes, I did. Um, that's why I wanted to read lesbian history, because when I was reading this, took quite a while, and I started doing it on Clubhouse. It was supposed to be like a live reading thing because there's people on Clubhouse reading philosophy. I thought it'd be cool. Anyway, um, um, what? Oh yeah, as I was reading this history book, um, like gay history, I was like, every fucking thing is like is like a flashing sign of what was to come in the future, or is like the exact same practices by the exact same people, but like in a different attitude. And it's like everything about it. I was like, I think that we're a little arrogant, radical feminists or like modern gender critical people, in thinking that like this is all some new special thing that like we are the only ones who truly understand it. I think that this is like, I don't know, read your feminist and gay history. And a lot of this stuff is not new. Okay. VF, which book are you talking about? This one specifically? Eleanor Lynn says foreshadowing. Yes, exactly. Okay. Okay, so um this also like so fucking applicable to gender ideology, okay? Um so this is about Jeanette Marks and Mary Woolley, who both taught at colleges in Massachusetts and who were in a Boston marriage for 55 years until they separated. And after they separated, Mary Woolley, the college president, was the one who worried that others might see her as a lesbian. In an essay she wrote in 1908, she denounced as quote unquote abnormal, unwise college friendships, end quote, such as the ones she had shared with Woolley, and insisted that the only relationship that could quote fulfill itself and be completed is that between a man and a woman, end quote. So I don't know if she was really a lesbian or not, but I'm just gonna like, let's assume she is a real lesbian and this is what she has to say. This reminds me so much of so many trans men I've talked to. So many trans men I've talked to. You know the ones like Calvin Gara, who will like write entire essays or make entire videos about how to look like a trans man and make sure nobody thinks you're a lesbian, you know? Like how to avoid being perceived as a lesbian, or like, oh, I can't hang out with these lesbians anymore because if I'm beside them people think that I'm one of the, like this kind of level of shit, okay? Like just this whole thing of like only a relationship between a man and a woman is real and any other relationship is not real, therefore I must be in a man woman relationship whether I'm the man or the woman. Like it's like gender ideology bullshit. It's all lesbophobic. BF says it's fucking exactly okay. I also think it's funny, like oh, Thank you for moderating Beansprout. So like a few pages ago, we read about how lesbians are the women who are not attractive enough to attract men. Like they're the cast-offs that the women want. And then here it's like these two German feminists, Anita Aussprung and Lida Gustava Heyman, um, reported unselfconsciously in their memoirs about marriage proposals they were offered by their farmer neighbor. Quote, it took all our efforts to remain serious and make clear to the man the hopelessness of his desire. As he left, we shook with laughter, end quote. I just think it's funny, because that's actually like, you know, I've never heard a single lesbian be like, oh yeah, the reason I date women is because I couldn't get a man. Men will fuck a fucking like donut. There's definitely some dude out there for you if you really want one. But this I've heard a lot, that like a lesbian is like in a relationship and then a guy is like, go out with me or marry me. Anyway. What makes you think that Max from the L Word was a Fujo VF? Or you just mean like in her like archetype? Okay, I have one more little paper left. Oop, it's on that page. Here it is. Let's see if I can fucking remember what I was. Okay. Yes, this is what I wanted to talk about. Beansprout said, I'd be really interested to see if the time points at which this stuff rears its ugly head coincides with women gaining more rights, legal representations, i.e., backlash to women and feminism. No, it literally is, because I don't remember if it was chapter 7 or chapter 6, but there's literally some dude. Oh, hello, Michelle. There's like some dude saying, women having their own schools, and what was the other thing? Whatever, institutions that are for women, allowing spaces where women gather without men, that this was like part of the problem, because having women together without men meant there was no men to like supervise them and tell them no, and they could all engage in their crazy shit. And so like it was like going to lead to like the decline of society or whatever. Eleanor Lynn says this shit makes me angry. Yep. Michelle says happens so often, you're too cute to be a lesbian. VF says her character fucked a gay man. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. I mean, I remember that, but I didn't like make the connection with the Fujo. Okay. Mabel says, yeah, Max really popularized the whole you can be a gay man notion. Isn't the actress who played. Wait, okay, I can't remember this now. Also, don't you love how, like, when you search the word L word, the first person that comes up is. Oh, fuck, I forgot her name. Bess or whatever. Oh my god, Oh my god. Okay, I thought that the actress who played Max was like like a lesbian, but turns out that she's a trans man. Also, her name is stupid. Daniela C. Oh wait, no. The title of the page is Daniela C, but her name is listed as Daniel. They had always been. Oh fuckers, are they a fucking NB? Fucking bullshit. Okay, she had always been gender nonconforming in some way or another, being called a tomboy or weird as a child. Since moving more fully into the punk scene, Danielle, or whatever, was given the freedom to experiment and come to a greater understanding of her gender. In May 2021 interview with Drew Gregory, Danielle expanded on her journey with gender. She talks about the beginnings of language for non-binary's identity and how they had to navigate that while playing a binary trans character, Max Sweeney, in the TV show L Word. Oh my fucking god, the melodrama. I can't even. I'm gonna keep going. This is on the wiki page, by the way, if you want to Google Daniela C. S-E-A. They said about their sexuality. Fuck, no. She said about her sexuality. Quote, but I don't believe that gender is just binary, and I never have, so that's what pulls me to sometimes politically identify as a lesbian. Because I'm a feminist and I feel like women are still so oppressed, I don't feel like we've come that far. But I also feel like there are people all along the spectrum. So in that sense, I feel like I would be more bisexual or just, open ended. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Is there okay? There must be there was many lesbians in the L Word, even if they were only there for one episode. There must be some lesbians who were on the L Word who are now like, yeah, this is bullshit with all this queer shit, the L Word Q generation or whatever. Is Max on the L Word Q generation or whatever generation Q? Because she would fit in really well with all this crap. And I thought they said they were trying to have more like trans masks to like more accurately represent the queer community or some crazy bullshit. Maple says finally some butch representation. Nope, exactly. Like Shane isn't even butch. Shane is like what? Like soft butch or something. Honestly, I'm not super into labels, but yeah. Maple, I don't know what any of this means. Maple says Daniela C dated Bitch from Bitch and Animal. That was her big claim to fame. I don't know what this means, man. How come you all knew she was non-binary? I'm very out of the loop. VF says it was all about selling lesbians this crap. She's horrible. I would quit, but she was a troon too. Oh yeah, okay. Grey Witch says what happened to Max pissed me off. She was my teen crush. They said they decided to transition her because she was so masculine she didn't fit in with the Jesus, on a lesbian show? Where on television is there space for masculine women if not on a fucking lesbian show called The L Word? Where? Oh my god. Isn't she the one that's in Donovan? Yeah, Shane is in Donovan. The show is kind of shit, but I like Shane's character quite a bit. Like the concept of the show is good. The casting and execution is pretty decent, but like the long story arc of the show is stupid and doesn't make any sense. Like I can't even tell you what it is. Um Patricia says I wrote an article about the L word in Portuguese. Oh, also, if any of you want to write for After Ellen, they're always looking for women, for lesbians to write for them. Literally, like email After Ellen and be like, "I'm interested in writing to you about this topic, and here's an example of writing I've done before." And they'll probably be like, "Yeah, okay, here, write something about this." They're really great. Um, Eleanor says, "I'm so sorry. This is making my blood pressure rise, bro." If you are like getting upset by my stream, like leave, and I don't want you to. I don't want you to be upset. Like I don't know. Please take care of yourself. VF says I was happy when we thought she was going to be butch. Yeah, me too. I remember the first time watching the L Word, which is while I was a trans, because even at the time, so I thought I wasn't a lesbian, but I remember thinking when I watched the L Word, I've never met a lesbian. I've never been to an event where there's lesbians. People always say LGBT, and I've never like seen. So I was like, this is my chance to learn about lesbians. Even though obviously, this is back when I thought Queer as Folk was basically a biography. I thought it was like an accurate assessment of what happens in the gay community. Anyway, um, so I was watching the L Word, and I remember when Max came on screen, I was like, oh, if I saw a woman who looked like that in one of my groups, we would think that's a trans man. But like here, I'm gonna see a really masculine woman who's a woman. Like I literally thought that exact thing, and then they made her like a trans, and I was like, oh, okay, so she's like one of me. I remember identifying with Max and being like, oh, so we're like similar. But then I thought they were like really making her story like super melodramatic, and I was like, okay, calm down a bit with that. And then later when she was like, ugh, doing all of her fucking around with Jenny, was it Jenny? What's her name? Like, wasn't she kind of dating Jenny for a bit, and then that stopped so she could go fuck this gay guy? And I was like, even back then when I was in the queer cult, I wasn't like brainwashed, but like I remember being like, but isn't he gay? And like, what does he say when he's fucking her? It's something like about how gender isn't binary or sex is fluid or some bullshit. And I was just like, what? I remember being like, What is this? Like I'm trying to watch a lesbian. VF, yes, VF was like people used to compare me to Shane, but I was like, no way would I ever fuck over Carmen. Carmen and Shane were like the best relationship in the whole show. They should have fucking got married and made Carmen one of the regulars. They could have had drama where like Shane cheats on her and they have like financial. They could have made drama in other ways aside from making them not fucking get married. She was one of the best characters in the show. It was fucking stupid. Okay. Ella says I thought I wasn't a lesbian too. Solidarity, sister. Ella says I thought I was bisexual and that faking sexual attraction to men was an act that all women partook. Exactly. Like there was like a year between 19 and 20 that I thought I realized I was attracted to women, but I didn't know how to tell if I was really attracted to men. And it was like, exactly, sister, I'm here with you. Yes, Excellensic has been banned. Um Maybe that's what my live stream tomorrow will be about. Well, not like about, because they're like 5 hours long, but like Simone Nelson says, "Hey, sorry I'm so late. Don't be worried. I've been." Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Um, I've been streaming for like 5 hours. Um, but the lesbian history without gender ideology, like Sapphistries. Sorry, just some Siri popped up on my laptop and then my microphone was turned off. Okay, no. Actually, okay. With regards to like books I've actually read about gay history, this is my second one. So, but I think Lillian Faderman is kind of okay. The only book I've read by her is the ones by like lesbians and gay men. But she has two lesbian books. Lillian, she's a lesbian who's a historian. She has what is it? Twilight Girls. What? Why is it listed like this? Twilight Lover. Oh, Odd Girls and Twilight Lovers, which is specifically about lesbians in the U.S. I think. Actually, didn't I have a Goodreads Listopedia? Goodreads. I think that there is a list on Goodreads that's like it's like a lesbian book list, but it's clearly made by rad femmes. Fuck off, piece of shit. I just remember seeing books on it that I was like, I haven't seen them anywhere else. Oh fuck, I should definitely recommend this book. I'm just trying to look for the list. Okay, whatever. I'll do many things about this book though. It has such an interesting voice. I have never read a book written quite like this. And there's lesbians in it, lesbian sex. There's like a matriarchal society with female warriors. That it's not like an inverse of male society. It's fucking great. I really, really recommend this book as lesbian fiction. Also, I listened to it as an audiobook, and the voice of the narrator is so dykey. Like, oh my god, like dykey content, dykey author, dykey narrator. Like, fuck, amazing. Okay, so yeah, look for Lillian Faderman things about lesbians. Also, that book about that is you're looking for fiction. It's a trilogy. I've only read the first two books though. Okay. Komatashio says I feel, yeah, but I also felt they specifically chose Shane for that to reinforce womanhood as the trans actor. The womanhood of the trans actor, yeah. What's the last name, Hellerman? Grey Witch, are you in an undergrad and are you in North America? Simone. After I'm done this stream, I think I'm gonna go into. I have 2 like series of videos that are like readings of Sapphistries and then like commentary on Sapphistries. I'm gonna go through all of them, make sure underneath are with links to like my list if you want to buy me books, my Goodreads, and like lists of lesbian history and radical feminist. I'm gonna put some lists, link to some lists under these videos afterwards. What? Komutashio says, didn't Shane hook up with a guy once in the original show? Yeah. Didn't she say that she used to give men hand jobs as like one of her jobs when she was like really fucked? Yeah, this Lesbians Ignite. I would doubt it has let's see when it's written. Oh, well, it's about the 1990s, so. Oh, wow. Okay, this is what I mean. Look at this Goodreads page. So you find the book that's been recommended by another lesbian. You open the Goodreads page about this. There is 0 ratings. There is 0 reviews. Like, there isn't even the basic information. A lot of the books on Goodreads, they always have like what the year it was published, who was the publisher, what was the format. It doesn't even have like here is the list, lesbian history. This list seems quite turfy to me. Yeah, and it starts with the Lillian Faderman. Okay, here we go. This is what I mean. Like, if a book is out of, like, for that book, that Australian book, for example, like, it's not going to end up on a Listopedia or on some lesbian blog, like, these are great books to read, because nobody's reading it. Like, it's kind of like compounding the issue. Yeah, so I would highly recommend all of you click on that link, the Goodreads one I just posted, which I just made that the pinned one. That is a list of like lesbian history books that I think are not too gendery. It's hard to tell though. I think the best way to tell is to read the reviews, and if you can tell there's a bunch of queerios who are very happy with this book, don't read that book. Okay. Komutashio says, I googled Shane hooking up with a man, and Google showed results of Shane and the trans woman from the new show. The search engine is a turf. Is that Google that you're using? I wish we could make like a turfy Google. We would call it like Turfle or something, and then we could like all use that as a search engine, and it could be like the inverse of Shinigami Eyes. And it's like if a page, if the author was male, they're not going to show you like it's like a Bechdel test, but like a search engine. Patricia says, yeah, Gianti-centric. I always saw her as unreachable for men, and then bang, she hooks up with a man playing a woman's part. Yeah. Is that why? Eleanor says, banned from YouTube for the anti-Semitism critique. She's referring to Exolancic. Yeah, so apparently, in the time that I've been streaming, Exolancic has been banned from YouTube. So, it might be for the anti-Semitism stuff. Like, I did feel she was quite explicit in her commentary. Like, she wasn't vague. Like, she didn't leave things up to like ambiguity that somebody can't really. Like somebody could definitely report her. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, actually, I don't even fucking know. I don't know. What? Apparently, there's a search engine that plants a tree every time you do a search. I just use DuckDuckGo because it doesn't track me. I always start the live chat with like a Chrome thing, where the only thing that's up is the YouTube, and by the end I have like 12 tabs open because you guys recommended books or mentioned people. I'm basically doing like a Benji soapbox. I guess this is basically like a free Benji soapbox at this point. Wait. before I look more at the live chat. I think I had one more point to make about this. Okay, so for those of you who were here for the last stream, when she referenced here the African women and the large clitorises, this is like a callback to chapter 3, I think, where there is like these Turkish explorers who go, I can't remember exactly, but basically some people from another country go to Africa. They see that these women have bigger clitorises. They come back to the country they're from where the women have smaller clitorises, and they are like, it's like I was ranting about before. They're fucking stupid men. They're dumb. They think if a woman is trying to have sex with another woman, it must be because she's basically a man. She must have the same mindset as a man, right? She must want to put some part of her body inside their body. So to them, they immediately like associated this like bigger clitoris equals lesbian thing, and that's like more prevalent among, or to them at least, more prevalent among Black women. I mean, it is ethnically like organized. Like the average sizing of clitorises, as far as I can tell. Anyway, so that's what it was like. I was just telling you guys before, like it's like a throwback to something earlier in the book, so like that makes more sense to you. Like, and also this like the concept of like lesbianism being foreign. So I think that was in Turkey, and they were like they started referring to the Turkish lesbians as something to do with Africa, because they were like, see, they're doing what they do over there. Like this constant idea of like you're the other, you're the foreigner who's doing like this foreign behavior, which is brought up. I mean, if you were here for the last 2 chapters, they bring it up a couple times. Also, like the Radcliffe Hall thing. I mean, obviously it's not the same situation, but like, okay, I think I'm done commenting on the book for today, so I guess I'll just be doing like a random live stream until then. That's kind of what my other book discussions turned into anyway. My book discussions were kind of like the foundation for me to be comfortable doing the Benji soapbox. Oh my god, food. So when I came out as a lesbian to my parents, my mom was like, oh yeah, I've known since you were 5. And having gone through all the queer struggling bullshit, my first thought when she said that to me, and my grandmother too, when I came out to her grandmother, well, she tried to be like, it doesn't matter if you're like with a man or a woman, I still love you. And I was like, I get what you're trying to say, but like I'm literally telling you I'm gonna only be with women, so that's a bit offensive, but whatever. She's not even old, she's like 65, my grandmother. Like all the women in my family had their first kid when they were like 19. So but my mother, like, my first thought when my mom was like, I've known since you were a little kid, was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, it's the well of loneliness thing, right? She's like yelling at her dad once he's dead, like, why didn't you tell me this thing about myself? And then the same thing with like the British schoolgirl, how her friend was like, well, you're obvious, like you're the most obvious lesbian I've ever seen, and the friend was like, what's a lesbian? It's like the same thing to me. It's like, it really like resounded with me that these women didn't have a knowledge of themselves, and they found, after they discovered knowledge of themselves, that's when they discovered the people outside themselves knew these things. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mentioned it before, and I'm like, if my mom had told me when I was like 12 or 14 or whatever that she thought I was a lesbian, or to like stop being a lesbian, if she had mentioned that I might be a lesbian in some way, I probably would have like rebelled and been like, no, you don't know who I am or whatever. But I don't know. VF says lip service was better. Debatable. I mean, it seemed less like porny than the L Word. The only really lesbian shows I've watched are Lip Service and the L Word. Oh, and Gentleman Jack, obviously. Do you guys have any other recommendations for lesbian shows? Oh, no, okay. I've also watched, okay, let's list lesbian shows here. The L Word. Lip Service. Gentleman Jack. Please take my wife. Oh no, is it just Take My Wife? Take My Wife. Um, One Mississippi. Those are my top lesbian shows. Well, not top. Those are lesbian shows that I can think of off the top of my head. Okay, wait. Need to go back up. Something was happening with somebody else. Somebody said. Stop Lying says, I think choosing to put Shane of all characters with a Tim is extremely deliberate to choose that character. Agreed. Aisha says, I thought she was defending herself from anti-Semitic attack with reference to Exelansic and her channel being taken down. Yeah, I thought so too. Like, that's what I mean. I don't really know what somebody would report her for over that. What I really suspect is that her account was taken down for misgendering, right? That's like really, because that, according to like Reddit and Twitter and Medium and Facebook and all the regular like mainstream social media, misgendering is part of hate because it like encourages violence or hate towards a minority. So like it's no stretch to think that that YouTube would use have the same line as them. VF said she's you're hate rewatching the L Word. Okay, well, VF, if you come across a specific scene in a specific episode that you want me to do a reaction to, I can do that. I think reacting to a whole episode of the L Word would be like impossible. But if I did a reaction to like 15 minutes of the L Word, I think that would be very doable. Okay. Maybe I'll just do a reaction to like a bunch of scenes about Max. Let me write that down. Where's the notebook with the stuff? My blue pen. Okay. Simone is recommending Invisible Women. I would also recommend that book very much. I have not read it. I've read quotes from it. It's one of the books that's on my list to please buy for me. I need to put my list. I fucking forgot it existed. I need to put it in the description of all my videos and in my Patreon. So if you guys want to tip me like $15 or $20 instead of doing that, you can just like buy me a book. Some of the books I really want though, like it's an Amazon wish list, obviously, right? Some of the books I really want I couldn't find on Amazon because they're like out of print. And those are the ones that are more expensive too. So I think there's one book that's like $100. It's like a lesbian history in Canada from like I don't know. Oh no, it's Loot. It's the history. It's someone did like their master's thesis on the Lesbian Organization of Toronto. They were the first group to ever use the word women with a Y to mean like women-born women. And I think they only existed for like 4 years or something because you know, as usual, when there's like lesbian rad femme stuff, is like it all devolves into drama very quickly. But yeah, I would fucking love to read about it. But for some reason, it's like $100. So you should buy it from like U of T Press or some crazy bullshit. Okay, anyway. Okay, Ella says my mom flat out said I wasn't a lesbian when I came out to her last year. She's been suppressing my gayness since I was little. What? Don't stop skipping. I thought she said something else after that. I'm really sorry, Ella. That's really shitty. Like I'm really lucky that I first came out to my friends who I knew would be supportive. And then like my parents were the last people I told, so I was like, if it's like really brutal, I know that I can like survive this. But it was like, and it wasn't even anything. Literally, when I came out to my parents, I made sure we did it in a public place because they're prone to like freaking the fuck out of, and I mean like really freaking the fuck out about shit. So the only thing my mom cares more about than like being evil to me is public appearance. Like the only thing that would stop her from being mean to me is public, like appearances in public. So if we're in a restaurant, she's not going to start screaming and swearing at me. So instead, her response was like, "This is not a topic to discuss in public. This is like an inappropriate topic." And my dad was like, "Yes." But that was like 5 years ago. My dad's really chill now. My mom's just like, uninterested, basically. Like, it's like, could have been much worse. But even that, I remember being like, feeling like very, like all those times I heard from the queer community, like your parents are transphobic and like society is against you and blah blah blah. It wasn't until I came out as a lesbian and they were basically like, we can't even talk about this in public, that I was like, wait, what? Like, so this is like this I finally experienced this whole like society is against you type thing. Um yeah, because I remember thinking like, if I can't even discuss this in public, how am I supposed to like hold a girlfriend's hand in public or whatever? Anyway, um Stop Lying says, I liked Lip Service, but too many of the characters annoyed me. I can't remember why. I don't think I finished Lip Service. I think that maybe that was why. Grey Witch says, I had a bi friend that did the whole quote, if you know somebody, that's fine, you know somebody, end quote. It feels like stealth, maybe. If you'll be with a guy someday, don't limit yourself. Yeah. Like, sexuality is fluid, so don't say you have an exclusive sexuality. Komutashia, what is X's and O's? What are you talking about? Ella says, do you watch the YouTube channel Sapphic Underground? The second thing that pops up is like a Reddit thread called, is YouTuber Sapphic Underground a TERF? Ella, is she a TERF? You're not recommending me non-TERF YouTube channels, are you? Ooh, Orphan Black. Yes, that is good and has lesbians. I think Brittany is referencing when she came out as a lesbian. I'm not sure. Maybe she's referencing something else. She just said, I was a kid too. I realized the masculinity really bothered her. Sugar Rush. I thought that Sugar Rush was about a Tim. Kamotashi says Sugar Rush is a super cute show about a British lesbian teen. Also, with the thing with my camera keeps moving, like those dinner trays for like eating in bed? That's what my camera is on top of, or my laptop, and it's like cracked in the corners, so it's like bending. I need to go buy a new one. I was gonna do that tomorrow, but now my dad's coming here today, so I don't know. Oh my god, Michelle, that's so sad. Do you work with deaf kids or something? Why do you bring this up? Michelle said, it's like with deaf kids. They often think they'll never live to be adults, as they've often never met an adult deaf person. Proto and young lesbians think we don't exist. Don't they have like deaf schools, though, or something? Maple says, does Orange is the New Black count as a lesbian show anymore? I mean, if people think that, oh my god, what was the name of that show? The Fabulous Mrs. Maisel? If that counts as a lesbian show, even though the lesbian in it is like a supporting character who never says she's a lesbian and never has a girlfriend, if that counts as a lesbian show, then unfortunately Orange is the New Black definitely counts as a lesbian show. I do not count either of the... I definitely don't count Marvelous Mrs. Maisel as a lesbian show. Like, when the actress who plays a lesbian, who's not a lesbian herself, when she got, like, whatever, Oscar or some crap, I don't know TV things, when she got, like, an award for the show, she went up there and she was all like, I did this to represent minorities and like support them and like you matter. And I'm like, literally in the show, not once do you say you're a lesbian or flirt with a woman or have a relationship. Like, the only thing you do to be a lesbian is have like a leather cap and a leather jacket. That is not what lesbianism is. Like, okay. Eleanor says, my daughter did not start dating till she was 19 last year. I made it clear that I am supportive of her having sexual relationships with women. That's good. I also think it's like a good thing for girls to wait to start dating. I didn't start dating till I was 23, and obviously before that, I was all like, I'm never gonna have sex. I'll always be alone, and all this crap. But actually, I think I was like, relationships are fucking hard, man, and like, I just think I was like more emotionally and psychologically equipped to handle it than if I had been a teenager. And also, if women, they're dating men, I think they're more equipped to advocate for themselves when they're older. Anyway. Oh, you want me to do a reaction to Generation Q? Yeah, but I'm not gonna like actually fucking watch that show. Like I'll do a generation, but you need to give me like a specific episode and a specific timestamp, and then I can do like 10 minutes of it or something. Oh, Eleanor, I very much recommend Transsexual Empire. It's very, very good. Oh yeah, that's true too. Komutashu says Ellen's sitcom was super nice, but only gay in the last season. Yeah, I mean, I literally have only watched the last season of Ellen. Like I literally Googled what episode did she come out in, and I started watching like 2 episodes before that to give me context. Um, her sitcom was fun. I support it. Wait, isn't there a lesbian character? Well, if we're going by shows that have lesbian supporting characters, that's a bigger list. Please Like Me is Australian. It's quite good. It has Hannah Gatsby in it. It's not very gendery at all. It's just gay. And I think Hannah Gatsby in Please Like Me is one of like the most accurate description of the average lesbian, like ever. Um, what's that other show? There's an interesting lesbian supporting character on. What's that Mindy Kaling show where she's like an OBGYN? The show actually really pissed me off because like the whole thing is very lib femmy, like very preachy, kind of like Supergirl, which is like, okay, whatever. If you're gonna be like that, be like that. But she is like Mindy is one of the writers and directors and whatever the fuck. It's like it's her show and like the main character. And she talks all the time about like domestic violence and like women advocating for themselves and like she and her husband are both or boyfriend, whatever, are both OBGYNs, okay? And then literally he like enforces reproductive abuse on her in like the fourth season or something. Like it's like clearly abuse in the fourth season. And I'm like, isn't this show all about like empowering women and showing like powerful, like positive representations of women? I don't know. They really, really pissed me off. Last Tango in Halifax, they ruined it though because she told her ex-husband she liked having sex with him. Oh really? Anyway. I might also maybe just go look on After Ellen. I feel like they probably have reviews of shows or movies that we haven't thought about. VF says there's never been a lesbian show focused on actual lesbians. No, I don't know. One Mississippi and Please Take My Life are very, very lesbian focused. Like One Mississippi is basically a biography about like 2 years of Tig Notaro's life, and part of it is her meeting her wife and them getting together and everything. And she and her wife co-wrote it and co-directed it and starred in it together. So that's pretty lesbian. Oh, you mean mainstream? Yeah. And then VF's like not those unfeminine women. That's what I suspected. That's what happened with my not Reddit, Twitter. Um, Ella says I just spoke to Sierra, which is Excellentic. She said they claimed her video that she incited violence. Isn't that's what Reddit was doing too when they took down all the GC when they took down all the GC subreddits, they claimed that the GC subreddits were quote inciting violence against a minority end quote. Did I say please take my life? I meant please take my wife. Which again is by like, well, aren't they both NBs now or whatever? And they're like divorced. But at the time they were like lesbians, like kind of masculine-ish or butch lesbians married to each other who were both comedians, and it was like they wrote the show and starred in the show and it was really good. Well, like really funny. I mean, I don't know. VF says the only minority they care about is the fake man-made minority. Yes. Okay. J. Marie said, did she say if they specified a video, referring to Excellence's account being taken down for quote-unquote inciting violence? Ella said no, and then Ella says she's never had a single strike before. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's what I mean. Like, she must have been mass reported for like one specific thing by many, many people for it to get taken down. It's just so depressing. Ella says this is mass reporting. Yeah, it must be. Like, when these women on Twitter get into our criticizing the men of the boys club, and then these women's accounts get suspended even though they've never had a strike before, it's because dozens of Glinner's followers or the boys club followers all went and mass reported the same women at the same time. They behaved like TRAs. J. Marie said, so a Glinnerite shows up first time ever to tell us she got shut down. Wonder who mass reported her. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, a Glinnerite. So someone who's on the boys club side of things has now had their account deleted. That's very interesting. I wonder who did that. Lost Girl. Aisha says, check out Lost Girl. Have a good lie down, Aisha. Okay. I need to end the stream. I have things to do. And I've been streaming for like 6 hours today. So, we finished. Grey Witch says, looking at your book recommendations, I'd recommend. Oh, fuck's sake, stop moving. I'd recommend Five Moons Rising by Lise McTagg. Haven't finished it, but has Butch Main. Think Supernatural for what? Because okay, I found this series. What's the first book? I don't fucking know. I think it's this one. I found this on 30% off. So I bought all 3 books of the series. And like, oh my, okay, so it has like a Butch who is like, ooh, Karen is here. Hello, Karen. The protagonist of this book, there she is. She is like a Butch blacksmith who is also into like Ren fairs and like medieval reenactment and stuff. So she makes like armor and swords and stuff. And then it's like urban fantasy. So it's like it turns out that monsters are real and she has to fight them and whatever. Which is like it's all good and everything. Her relationship with her girlfriend is like so horrible. And her character is actually kind of boring, even though it's like not. Okay, I said I was gonna end the stream, but now Karen is here, so I'm definitely not ending the stream. But yeah, the book was not good. I'm trying to think. Oh, here, okay. A friend of mine used to be in a writer's group with a bunch of lesbian writers. These are the books that she lent me to be like, oh, look, this one has a TTC. What year is this from? Oh, whatever. I guess we're not going to know what year it's from, but we can look up which year had Tuesday, May 12th, this thing. Okay. But yeah, she recommended these books to me, so I'm going to list them off for you. This is a series. These are all written by lesbians, as far as I'm aware. It's called The Deed of Paxenarion. And it's like, I don't know, there's a female knight on the cover. That's enough reason to read the book. I don't know if there's really lesbians in the whole thing, but then this one she lent me. It's called is this book 3 of the Chronicles of Toronto? What? But like, look at the author. Dude, that's a fucking lesbian, isn't it? The Northern Girl. 1980 World Fantasy Award winner by Elizabeth A. Lynn. Oh, it's the same daughter author. This one's by Elizabeth Moon. This one's by Nora. Okay, whatever. This one have had recommended to me by multiple lesbians, and I still haven't read it. These have all been lended to me by the same lesbian. If you have friends with any older lesbians, they probably have a lot of books. Ask to borrow them. This one's called Murder in the Collective. It's by Barbara Wilson, who is a lesbian author. I think she has other books that have been recommended to me as well. And this one, okay, Catherine V. Forrest is a very prolific lesbian author. I haven't read anything by her, but this is Daughters of the Coral Dawn, which I think is the most recommended book by Catherine Forrest for me. So, whoever was asking me about lesbian fiction the other day, and I was like, I don't know what to recommend you. I mean, apparently I had like 7 lesbian fiction books just sitting here. So, now if only I had lesbian comic books. Is that a thing? Okay, what's happening here? Marion, you're a blacksmith. Where do you live? Are you in North America? I want to come visit you. That's so cool. I've always wanted to like. Okay, my uncle is like a sword collector, and or axes and like whatever. When I was a kid, every time I would visit him and hang out with him and like playing video games and stuff, I'd be touching his swords and his axes, and like he gave me a set of katanas. I forgot what it's called, the tanto and the katana, like the two together that you put on the wall. Oh my god, where are they? I think they might be in my bedroom at my dad's house. Oh my god. Well, either way, freaking love swords and medieval stuff, and like high fantasy is my favorite. Anyway, if you're a blacksmith and I go on my big road trip in the summer, please tell me where you live so I can come visit you. I mean, presuming you're in North America. Okay. Oh no, I went back up to catch up on things. Karen, I don't know why you're mentioning this, but and critical thinking too. Hello. Karen says the bugger off is deeply unpleasant. Grey Witch, what does this mean? Right title in chat. Oh, of the books. Okay. Apparently, these two high fantasy, the Sheep Farmer's Daughter and the Northern Girl, the authors were all part of the same writing group, and they actually had crossovers in their books of their characters, which I think is so cool. So I need to read like the whole of all their series now. Can you imagine being in a writers group in the 80s and it's like all these lesbian women who are actually published, like about lesbians, and none of this queer shit? Okay. You know, I've been thinking about that VF. VF proposed, or I don't know if she proposed, but whatever. She mentioned, because I was saying, like, this channel is for women, by women. Like, I'm not going to interview men on it or, like, put male content on my channel unless I'm criticizing it. But I was like, I can't control who watches my videos or who comments. Like, I can't, like, I don't know when you comment if you're a man or a woman. And then, but VF is a mod in my live chats. So VF, if you see someone who like is saying I'm a man and they're commenting, as a woman, I support you in removing them from the live chat. Marie says, so wait, did Excellency's backup channel get deleted too? I don't see it in my subscriptions. I'm not aware. Do you guys see her backup channel? I wouldn't be surprised if it got deleted, because For example, like with Twitter, if you have one Twitter account and you get that one banned, all the other ones that are logged in on the IP address of your phone, or all the other ones that are associated with your phone number, also get banned, as far as I'm aware. So I wouldn't be surprised if one account gets banned and the other one gets like taken down. Beansprout said, GNC, did you say you can remove men? If you want to remove men, I'm not gonna fucking stop you, sister. You have to pay for an Odyssey account. Really? Well, maybe if Odyssey is paid, I don't know, get rid of my Patreon and then you just have to pay to like see my videos normally. So I feel bad about that. Let's see, sign up. Well, I guess I shouldn't do this now. Okay, I mean, I don't know. I will investigate Odyssey further. Like I said, I'm going to make an account tonight. Well, I mean, also, if Exolantic is on Odyssey, and then I go on Odyssey, like, people are already going to be there because of Exolantic. So, BitChute. Okay, I have never used Odyssey or BitChute. Are there any of you in the live chat who's used either one? Because I definitely, if I have to make a backup each channel, I'm only doing one. I'm not doing two. So both of them are like free speechy. Which one is better, BitChute or Odyssey? No, I know YouTube will eventually come after me. Like my plan was to put everything on Odyssey. Um, as far as I can tell, Odyssey generally seems to work similarly to YouTube. Eleanor says it's all going to change anyway. We'll have to keep moving in the future, I guess. Yeah. I heard of Rumble for videos. Somebody else mentioned that. I love how when you click on these things, it's like, okay, bro. Like these crazy right wingers. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I will. I mean, that's what Caitlin says. Rumble is like Getter. A lot of conservatives right now. That's what I assumed. Anywhere that I go that's like anti-censorship is going to be full of Trumpers. Um. Oh, Radical Ramblings is on BitChute, according to Patricia. And Izzy has only looked at Rumble. Okay, well. Beansprout says there's a small corner of Getter for rude femmes, which I am enjoying. Yeah. Hey, Karen. Karen says, hey, everyone. Yeah, so I definitely need to back up my videos and put them somewhere. And then I'm also wondering which of them supports live streaming. I don't know, though. Like, the thing with live streaming is if you're subscribed to me and you have notifications turned on your phone or whatever. But if I go onto like some completely random app, I'm not going to have 4,000 people getting a notification, so like 10 of you show up, you know? Like, oh, I don't have notifications turned on for Getter. Beansprout or Dr. Beansprout says, but I am not enjoying the notifications from Getter about Trump's live stream, LMAO. Oh, Karen has made a backup channel. Please, everyone, go subscribe to Karen's backup channel. Like, if everyone is going on Odyssey, I bet you I'll just go on Odyssey. Like, if that's where people are going to make accounts and have subscriptions, then that's just what I'll do. That's the easiest thing if everyone's already on there. But yeah, I'm gonna make whatever account I make. I'm gonna like link it in my YouTube community and stuff like that, so you guys can find it. Okay. Um, J. Marie says, so we're just going to be forced out to a tiny echo chamber. Yeah. I mean, when you look at what's happening with all the text based social media, right? Even Tumblr has censorship now, which is crazy because Tumblr is like the Wild West. Um, all of the written social media, text based social media, has been purging people in the last about 1 year. They've gotten like really crazy militant with their rules and the enforcement. Um, and the trans activists are using that to their advantage, right? VF says Tumblr was always against us. Yeah, I know, but at least I don't really know people who were getting like their accounts banned and stuff. Um, so I think that what's happening right now with text-based social media, we're just gonna see the same thing switching into video-based, like with TikTok. Didn't Karen? Was it Karen? Or was it Exolansic? Someone interviewed Liberated Leslie and oh my god, what's her fucking name? V Swags, whatever. These two kind of biggish radfem lesbian TikTokers about the censorship on there. Um, so I think what we're seeing like on Twitter is probably just gonna like keep going onto all the other social medias until all of us are on Getter and like whatever the Getter equivalent of videos is, if that's BitChute. Ooh, Karen says it takes forever to upload to Rumble and to BitChute. Well, considering a bunch of my videos are like 5 hours long, I'm basically just gonna have to choose Odyssey because I have roommates and I can't hog the internet like that. VF says they know they can get away with it more and more. I have always I have been getting banned on there for over 5 years. VF, tell me what your tumblers are. Karen says she doesn't think anybody has to pay for anything to do with Odyssey. Dr. Beansprout says we seriously need to consider a woman-run version of YouTube. Yeah, but like, look what happened when we did a woman-run version of Twitter, Spinster, and when we did a woman-run version of Reddit, Over It. I, in concept, I agree with you, but in practice, this seems to be a fucking disaster. Like, and also timing is the issue. I think that if Over It had been set up, like, if it had been like done the day after the purge from Reddit, it would have had like everyone would have just gone there. But because it took like months and months from the time that Reddit was shut down to the time that Over It was set up, everyone left. So like if all of us go onto Odyssey and then this woman run Gynatube or whatever gets set up, that's oh my god, well, this is a fucking horrible name. I just tried to say something random. That is not the name of the women's YouTube. And then the women's YouTube shows up. Like if everyone's already on Odyssey, I don't know. You can upload to YouTube and Odyssey simultaneously. Jesus Christ. It's like a lot of work for me because I mostly do live streams. I have to download my live streams and re-upload them. Thanks for all your information, Karen. Brittany says, what happened with these sites? Why'd they fail? I don't think they view it as failure. They view it, well, like Reddit specifically, they were getting ready to to be sold to like some giant Chinese corporation, and they wanted to make it look like they like weren't allowing because like Reddit really what they were doing was they were banning the Trumpers because of like fake news and misinformation and all that crap. And then it was during that they were like, this is the qualifications for getting disqualified, for getting banned from Reddit, like for getting your subreddit taken down. And then all of these wokesters started like organizing around those lists. So they started using that to their advantage. Yeah, they don't view it as failure. They just view it as like keeping the ship tight or whatever. And like Tumblr, I think the shit really hit the fan. Like it started getting bad for radfems, like with getting banned specifically and getting reported and stuff after they like banned porn. I don't know why specifically, but that seems to be like the watershed moment for Tumblr. Yeah. VF says I pissed a lot of Troon femmes off. VF, are you dirt from dirt? Who are you? Like, I'm wondering now if I recognize who was that other. There was this like crazy rad femme. What was her name? She would like show up and piss off all the rad femmes and be like super rude, and then she would disappear for like 4 months. Then she would show up again and piss off all the rad femmes. Dr. Beamsprout said, "We need a site run by proper free speech advocates." Yep, completely agree. But TikTok, the video limits are 3 minutes, Brittany. And I've already been banned from TikTok, like suspended twice. So with the 3 strike thing, I'm not really interested in creating content specifically for TikTok anymore. But my plan was with my YouTube was to like cut out little sections of my rants and turn them into shorts and then put those like shorts on YouTube, which are like I think under 3 minutes, and then put those on TikTok. Cause yeah, like my first 5 videos on TikTok got taken down. And like that happened on the second day I was on TikTok, I got like a 7-day suspension. VF says she came in my defense on Butch Femme when my GF tried to troon me out. I'm so sorry that your GF tried to troon you out. I have like mixed feelings about Dirt from Dirt. I think she's kind of gone like a bit over the top recently, even for like a rude femme or mean femme or whatever. But I also think like she did some really important stuff at a time when there was no other women doing that stuff. And I don't know. I think she's significant. Well, I think she's kind of insane by being like everyone who's a lesbian is not a real lesbian. Like that her most recent stuff is kind of nuts. Yeah, she was exactly. She was telling the truth way back before anyone else. Dirt from dirt, I agree. Brittany asked what's troon. Troon is basically a Tim, but it's like you use the word troon instead of Tim because it's not like isn't that it? I also think that troon like it's now it's become more general, but it wasn't there at one point that troon specifically is like kind of like masculine non-passing AGPs. Karen says that was me. They were awesome. I think she's referencing the TikTok lesbians that she interviewed. That was actually the first time I ever saw a Karen video. VF says she doesn't think anyone else is a lesbian. Yeah, basically. Which is like a bit ridiculous. I understand being like skeptical and stuff. Oh, is that the actual what troons are? Critical thinking says Looney Tunes equals Looney Tunes. Yeah, my ex also trans. So I can definitely empathize. I empathize with both of you, VF and Grey Witch. It's a really difficult situation to be in. Oh, Van says it's troon, or Van says it's trans plus goon equals troon. Oh my god, she tried to troon you, not herself. Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ. This is like those fucking women who are like, oh yeah, like sex is good and everything, but like, wouldn't it be better if you got fallow? Have you heard from those fucking tiffs who are like, my girlfriend shamed me into getting fallow? Have you heard of that shit? I've talked to so many like desisters and detransitioners who are like, yeah, I was like dating some bi women or whatever, and she basically kept treating me like I was supposed to be a man because I'm masculine, and then like, oh my god, VF, I'm so sorry. VF says, yeah, it sucked because she said we would be married if I admitted to being a man. I was a drag king, so she thought she could get with my drag car. Um, that sucks, man. Like that really sucks. Um, my ex had situations like that before she got with me. Mhm. But why do you think they're like that? Um, Michelle Rafferty says, I thought it was trans plus loon. Do you think that it's. I think it's because they've internalized heteronormativity to the point where even if they are like literally attracted to women, they want to like force their relationship into the heteronormativity box. And so it's easier if their partner's masculine, the logical it's like literally like this fucking book, which I think you've missed most of it, VF. But like um if your partner's masculine and you're feminine and you view like real relationships as being heterosexual, like the logical solution is for your partner to be a man, right? Um um I've heard from so many women who have experienced something like this, and it's like truly. But like I also think part of it is porn culture. Like watching all this heterosexual porn. Like I've talked to so many like masculine women who are like they hook up with like young like wokesters, and the wokesters like want them to like be like men in bed, like choke them and slap them and be mean to them and like dominate them or whatever. And they're like, but I'm a woman. Like I'm not a man. Um and like obviously part of it is porn culture, but I'm like, is that all of it? Is it some kind of combination of like is there a specific aspect of queer theory that makes you think like you can change the people around you to like make you like I don't know, the whole thing is just so fucking bizarre. Um Maple said I have something to ask. Do you all not like bisexuals? Maple, are you a bisexual? I don't dislike bisexuals. I just think that they have done a lot of really crazy bad things for gay people. Um So like if you're like if you're bi, that's called cool and everything. But just like, you know. Stop lying says Benji, are you on Tumblr? I don't know if I follow you on there. What even is my Tumblr? Is there an underscore? It used to be the first thing that popped up when I typed my name into the thing. Oh yeah, there's a space. Okay. Here's my Tumblr, but honestly I go on it like twice a year. So I have like 50 DMs. Every time I open it, I'm just like, never mind. And I leave. Um okay, Maple. Like the whole concept of like everyone is fluid and like you can choose like which genitals and like why do you have a preference, that's weird. Like that's bisexuals who are, I don't know who like originated that. Well, it was like Butler or something, some person who was like boundaries mean nothing and they're a bad thing. But it's like now in the last 10 years, do you know who is really like promoting that and pushing that? It's bisexuals. And it's like they're the ones bullying homosexuals for being homosexual. And it's like just because you're a bisexual doesn't mean everyone can choose to be a bisexual. Like it's so arrogant. I don't assume that my experience is the experience of all lesbians. Why would they assume that their experience as a bisexual is the experience of all human beings? This is ridiculous. Um, Maple says the dating pool for bisexuals is pretty limited to abusive men and other bisexual women. It's not like I would never date a bisexual. I'd need them to be like very radical feminist though. Okay, but isn't there like demographics wise, isn't it like with regards to numbers alone of like the number of human beings on the planet who are this demographic, isn't it like in this order bisexual women, bisexual men, gay men, lesbians? Like of all the demographics of LGBT, isn't there more bisexual women than any other category? So like I'm not trying to disagree with you as your dating pool feels small. I'm just saying. Oh, yeah, that's Patricia's like, I think they're not bi, they call themselves pansexual. Yeah, a bunch of them. Like, all of the stories of women I know who have like hooked up with women and the woman was like, I want you to have like violent sex with me, or like the sex was disappointing because it wasn't violent, or like I thought you would be more masculine and manly and like why aren't you more assertive and all this crap. All the stories I've heard like this, oh, or like I need you to transition, or like our relationship like will be real if you transition, or like sex will be more satisfying to me once you have fallow. All of these stories are about lesbian dating a bisexual. All of them, 100% of the time. So it's just like this makes me question how safe it is to date a bisexual. Um, Stop lying, you're already following me. But now can you like, well, if you DM me right now on Tumblr, will that pop to the top? Maybe DM me so I know who you are. VF says her girlfriend was a gold star lesbian. Well, you are the first lesbian I've heard this story from where the other party is a lesbian. Maple says, in my experience, the people pushing the sexuality is fluid stuff or spicy straights. Yeah, that's also true. Ugh. VF says she even married an Aiden after me who has kids with her. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should do that as a topic for the discussion with some lesbians on here one time. Like as like lesbians on the stream with me. I would love to talk to other lesbians about how the current queer community enables and enforces and supports internalized lesbophobia, like to an extreme point. Um, Aside from just telling women that you should transition, if you're I mean, I think we talk a lot about like the women who transition and all this crap. We don't talk about the women who date the women who are transitioned, right? Um, VF said I was the only proud butch lesbian she ever dated, which is like sad. With my ex too. Like everyone she ever dated before me was bisexual until she dated me. Maple says, like a bisexual woman, I've always had men. I've always had men intentionally come between me and other women. What do you mean? Like when you're dating a woman, like a man tries to date you? Like what does that mean? Now stop lying, says she sent a DM. Have you even logged into Tumblr on anything? Do I even know what the password is? Let's see. Okay. Nope, that's not Tumblr. Where is it? There it is. And it's reorganized my apps. Like, why is it like the most accessible app on this page when I haven't opened it in like a year? Well, it turns out I'm logged in. Maple, were you the first person to ask me? I think I'm already following you. Were you the first person to ask me about book requests? Because if so, then it's kind of funny that your URL has the word book in it. Stop lying is like I shouldn't call you back on Tumblr. No one should be on there. Agreed. Jay says, so who is creating the Excellency God Band support group live stream after this? I mean, I'll do it. I need to end this stream for at least 1 hour or like half an hour and deal with some stuff. Maybe I'll start another live stream called like the Excellency Solidarity live stream. Yeah. I'm going to make an Excellency Solidarity live stream tonight. Maybe in half an hour. Oh, Stop Lying was the one who asked about book. It wasn't the one asking. Okay. VF, this is literally, that was the attitude of my ex. She was like, I have messed with tons of buys as they chase me, and that's who I'm mostly attracted to. But what the fuck, all the BS is annoying. Okay. I'm gonna end the stream. This one is staying up because this is not a normal live stream. This is a book discussion live stream, so it stays up. Okay. And then I'm gonna start a stream that is not Benji's soapbox that will stay up on the channel. That is about oh, Patricia said she started following me on Tumblr. Thank you very much. I'll probably follow you back if I remember to open my Tumblr app. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna end this for like a little bit and then open another one. Okay. Thanks so much for being around, sisters. See you like in half an hour or tomorrow at 3 p.m. EST. Okay. Bye. Toodles, Dr. Bean. Toodles, Ella. Tall stones. Ta-ta for now. That should be my new closing phrase.